Hello, it's Ianifa Lisa Nash, Ianifa Ifana Nwade, here with, are we on part 5 now? I think so, of my ecocentric reading of the week, of the weekly Ifascope that comes to you through the IFA Foundation International. And I still don't know how many parts they're going to be. You see, if you watch the other ones, you'll see the scene has changed, right? It's the same night, same clothes, but the scene has changed because after the last one, I thought, oh, that's it, we're done. Let's upload them, bip, bip, bip. Now, what do you think happened? Right? What do you think happened? Like, of course, we couldn't upload the things. And in my stubborn, materialist, mental supremacist way, even though I'm like, okay, issue, what? I try everything, I move the cord from port to port, I turn, da. I even go online and say like Mac Mini won't recognize, I never do that. I hate that. And finally, I'm like, okay, I give up, I'm going to bed. But I'm really, really charged, right? I don't feel done, I don't feel down. I'm like, So then I go, all right, I'm gonna go brush my teeth. And immediately, right, I can again hear, feel, sense, receive, right? I let it go. I stopped pushing to get it done the way I thought it was supposed to get done. And she's like, it wouldn't go because you're not done. Oh. Right? Really, this is Eshu's message to us again and again. Right now, like really, really, if you want to be good with the trickster, with the coyote, as a human being, you've got to be humble, and you really better be able to laugh at that part of you that's just always thinking, just like the coyote in those ridiculous cartoons, like, okay, this time I'm going to do it. Because we're all like that. Right, it goes on, and we'll know when we're done. So what didn't I finish? I ask Ishu. Yeah. You didn't finish the hardest part. You thought that was the hardest part because it's hard to cry for real on film. I'm not like playing somebody else on TV here. This is really me and my real kitchen table and my real life and my real tears. No, that doesn't mean you're done. Yeah. Oh. And I immediately realized I didn't close the loop on God money. Right? I said, I went on a little tangent about asceticism and didn't close the loop and say, listen, just because Ifa is not an ascetic tradition, just because, as far as I know and can see, West Africa has not been really big on mortification of the flesh or denial of the pleasures of earth, including wealth, does not mean does not mean we have license to worship God money. Okay, there's nothing that I can find that says that God money and Olodumare are the same thing and operate by the same laws, okay, because clearly they do not. God money doesn't even operate by the laws of nature as we know them. And God money says there can be endless growth, and there should. In fact, everything depends upon this. Look where this has gotten us. Okay? Acknowledging that this too is God, that we had to go through this, that, I can see a little bit of the work for God that this now seeming insanity has done. I can see it, right? But that's correct, but then there's a time to move on. Okay, look at we're acting as if we could organize our economy, our way of exchanging with one another and with all our relations around endless material growth for us. Does the phrase sixth mass extinction mean anything to you, right? It's time to move on. So, we confront here yet another archetypal problem of the human species. If the economy of the community is not organized to support people who are specialists in spiritual healing, in mediating relations between the human community and the rest of our relations, and they're compelled to relate to God money, which is inherently against the law of life and objectifies and commodifies everything, there's going to be a problem. And the nature of this problem is well known to anybody who's familiar with the problems of the Ifa and Ifa diaspora community. Okay, the problem of people who really do, have ashe, who really do have skill, discipline, they've been devoted in this path, getting corrupted, getting perverted around God money. And I'm not saying this is only these traditions, this is every human tradition that's gotten mixed up with this form of God money has experienced corruption. There's not a single exception to that rule. Well, what are we to do? Everyone starts crying in a panic. Look, fucking calm down. If that was going to solve the problem, we would have solved it by now. Okay, that's not going to do it. We've got to take a look at where we are with God money and where life is driving us to go. And we have to be willing to say, for instance, yeah, it's true. I've gotten in the habit of prioritizing work for money because that seems like it must be the most important work there is to do. Everyone does it. Everyone agrees you have to do that. So it must be true. If everyone jumped off a bridge, would you do it too, as your mother said to you when you were 8 or whatever? No. Did your mother tell you that was the right way to behave? I bet she didn't. That's not the mother I know. Mother God, Father God. The Father God goes to the light. That's how it's been. The Father, Mother God is the light and the dark. And everything, and beyond everything. Within and beyond, simultaneously, this has always been true. That wild spirit created this whole God money escapade and hasn't gone anywhere and is still here to help us solve it. However, we do have free will, which means that we have to decide, not just once, but again and again, that we are here to solve it. That doesn't mean we all run into the woods and live like ascetics necessarily, right? Diversity. I'm not saying that. It's not simple like that. Mind. It's simple like this. Simple like this. This thing knows where the right balance is. It does. This beautiful equipment, this incredible instrument given to us all by the Mother, it knows. It knows. And this is why we love this phrase, walking our talk. But what's our walk look like really? I'm sorry, but when I look at people telling me, I feel great, everything's going so well, and they're like this, and they're like sallow, and I'm sorry, I'm not convinced. Okay, the body matters because it is our integrity keeper. It tells us right now. Nope. Oh, you're getting off track. It doesn't feel good like that. It doesn't feel good like that. It doesn't feel good like that. We've got to recognize as spiritual students at this terminal phase of modernity, here because we wanted to try the mad adventure of helping the species move beyond modernity, not into degeneration, not into, I don't have another word, degeneration, not into deeper dis-ease, but into the medicine for our deepest dis-ease. We've got to recognize that spiritual teachers, spiritual lineages, spiritual organizations that are, gosh, right? You're not even allowed to say it, right? I feel like I've felt in a million gatherings of humans, oh, it's the truth, but I can't say it. I'm going to persevere, but I'm going to take my time. I will not be rushed. Well, I think that really we're at a point where we just have to recognize that the likelihood of individuals, organizations, lineages that are successful, in terms of God money today, when the God money system is so corrupt, it is so clearly a corpse walking, that they're in dire danger of infection every moment. I mean, this has always been true, right? If we want the deeper wisdom, we have to confront the more ferocious guardians and learn, right, to master ourselves so they do not master us. It's not about controlling them. No. Look, but it's more intense now because this is this moment of great intensity. Ogbi Meiji is a moment of great intensity. Okay, all the questions are illuminated with great clarity, as are the answers. It's a blinding light of truth. God money is a very dangerous thing. Many have tried to walk the marriage between God money as we have known it in modernity and the need to bring forth spiritual teachings to spread spiritual wisdom like it's never been spread before, because humanity needs it all now in order to go forward. This has been a very hazardous path. Honorable in so many cases, but extremely hazardous. Okay? And we haven't known how to take good care of our warriors, our leaders. Everybody is responsible for the fact that so many have fallen into such dramatic, right? What else is a spiritual teacher or organization going to do but fall into dramatic corruption, right? Still teaching us, showing us all, this is what it looks like. Right? We are idiots, just absolute idiots, begging to be smacked by a shoe, by the mothers this year, this week, right now, if we do not recognize this is a very hazardous path. And we have erred there many times, and many have been harmed. And we must take care of our immunity if we're called to try to mingle these things at this time, as many of us are. Okay, we are. It's not that it's wrong to do so, it's that it's hazardous. And we have to take care of each other, which also means knowing how to say, we're in an epidemic. People are going crazy around God, money, and God all around us in very diverse ways, but they all sort of seem the same. We've got to take care of each other. We've got to learn how to recognize the signs and symptoms that a group is getting sick, and what we need to do to take care of it so that the group can continue. Or if it needs to break down and reform itself, that's fine too. But so that we're conscious, consensual, and creative participants in whatever needs to happen for that sickness to transform into greater health. I'm shaking trying to get these words through me, because the danger, right, when any human community fails to recognize the signs and symptoms of this sickness and respond ably, the danger is dire. All our ancestors have always known this. It's just a brief amnesia we've been having. It's like a little mental holiday. Oh, we don't believe in that scary shit anymore, so we don't have to deal with it for a few thousand years. Okay, all done now. Right? Look. This is, it's always been the ultimate danger for us as humans. But when you mix not only God money and the human being, but God money and, truly powerful spiritual tools, truly powerful spiritual wisdom, you have a recipe for disaster, right? Because the truth seeker in everyone, and who isn't hungry right now for more truth, right? For more spiritual truth, more illumination, okay? God, who isn't praying for a miracle right now, right? That thing is so magnetized by a person or an organization that's carrying that light, right? That it can easily not see. Look, all light comes with shadow. We are on earth. How's the shadow being worked in this person? How has it been worked? How's it being worked now? How do they respond to the evidence that it's emerging in some unfamiliar fashion? Because, well, that's the nature of shadows, isn't it, right? Isn't this a lot of what issue has to teach us as choosers? Right? If we don't recognize that that light comes with a shadow, if we don't work that shadow rigorously in everyday life, with our families, with our communities, when we're in spiritual work, we're not only endangering ours, we're endangering ours, right? Because the truth wants to spread, and it will spread, even if it's carrying poison with it, okay? And we can learn to offer ourselves to this truth without passing that poison. Yes, we can. Not all at once, not just shit it and we're all done now, we're good. No, it's not like that. It's deep in the body. It's deep in the earth. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some work. That's what we came like this for. That's what we're here for. And it doesn't stop. An individual, an organization, a family, or a community in spiritual work that doesn't recognize that and give themselves to that humbly at all times is a danger to all. That is what I did not finish saying. I don't know that I'm finished still, right? But I know now, right? Aisha was not going to let me finish this without me saying that, and I'm still shaking. Because speaking up to this in every spiritual community I've been in has gotten me targeted for tremendous violence. I've almost taken my life due to the violence that I've been targeted for. It's been that bad, really. If you don't believe me, you can ask to hear the whole story, okay? Or you could just believe the testimony of my body. It's been that bad. That's why I know. And I contributed to it also without knowing I was doing so. I have dues to pay. I must speak. Not only on my behalf, because there is no only my behalf, on behalf of this family, of our human family, and of all life. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.